Hey there, Neverlanders. All right. Today was Free Comic Book Day. So I, of course, spent, as I do every year, spent some time out there visiting some comic shops, picking up some choice comics. And, of course, for free. And, of course, while there, try to pick up some things because you need to support your local comic book store. Well, I wanted to show at least a few of the Disney picks that I went after and went specifically for. I managed to get everything I wanted for once. I haven't been able to do that in a long time. I managed to actually get out there early enough before these were taken. So let me show you a few of the things and talk about a little bit of what I found in these. A lot of the digital comic apps that you can get, you can still find some of these. So if you want to read these, there is a way. First one I want to show you, though, is here, Star Wars Adventures from IDW. They still have apparently a deal with Disney going on right now. IDW also is running some DuckTales comics, some Mickey Mouse comics. There's some other lines that they have some ads. A lot of when they do this, they put a lot of ads for other comics that they might possibly have to entice you, that you might be interested in, like a Tangled series. A lot of the Disney shows currently apparently do have. They've even apparently they're going to reprint some old Star Wars comics that were like comic strips. So I am interested in that, I must say. So yeah, but like the newer DuckTales, but the Star Wars Adventures, and apparently they're also going to do something with Forces of Destiny. But this is a little bit of promotion for the upcoming Solo film. It actually previews a little bit of a story that's coming up in Star Wars Adventures number 10. This is very much a kid-friendly style Star Wars. It's very light, very fun. It's a very short read. It's really kind of setting up a story of Han and Chewie having a little adventure. And it was really, really fun. I did enjoy reading it. It was definitely worth picking up. And it does encourage me to go ahead and start looking for this title, Star Wars Adventures. Hopefully I can find some of those early comics, which, you know, it deals with, seems to be during the time of original trilogy, but I bet they dive around and do a lot of stuff. They're just using some different adventures at different times, just having some fun with it. But yeah, definitely Star Wars Adventures. Pick this up, your local comic shop. You don't have to necessarily go after this free one. You can pick up the regular series, which is available. Now, this was actually a surprising one here. So I saw there was a Disney Princess title. And I thought, well, I'm doing a Disney show. Let me go and take a look and read it and see what it is. Now, I don't know if this is actually being printed in like local newspapers, but it was printed sideways like this. And as you see, it's done like a comic strip, like a daily, 4 panels. Fourth panel has a joke. And there'll be a continuous thing for about, 5 days, I guess. Kind of like when you buy a collection of comic strips, like, say, Garfield or something, for example. It was very much in that vein. So I wonder if these strips are running anywhere or what the deal is with this. But this was done from Joe Books, which they've had a deal with Disney for quite some time doing some Disney comics. So, they've got some Darkwing Duck and things like that. But I really enjoyed this. It's very light reading, very kid-friendly. I don't know if you'll be able to find these titles somewhere. They mentioned some trade paperback collections in the back where they've got some other princesses that they've done. They even show that they've, I guess, collected some of the classic stories in some sort of comic form that is supposed to be available, which I have never seen these things. But yeah, here we go. So there's like collections of strips from all these different princess characters, and they're light level humor. You're not going to laugh out loud. Your kids might. But they're fun and they're funny, and I actually really did enjoy reading this. The artwork is very, very cute in style. Let me see if I can get this a little closer to the camera so you can take a good look. But it's very, childish and very cute. I really did enjoy the art, and they had some typical jokes of what you expected. You don't take any of this as canon because we have Ariel both as a mermaid. We also get to see her as a human for some various jokes. But definitely, if you see those in your local comic shop, I think your kids will enjoy them. I think you might enjoy them too because I had fun with it. All right, next thing on the list. This was sort of a double hit here. We had an Avengers, and if you flip it around, there was also some Captain America involved. I just realized there's one comic I haven't read yet that I picked up that is Disney, and it's a Nightmare Before Christmas book, which is from Tokyo Pop. So speaking of flipping it around this way, the book is actually printed backwards because in Tokyo, they open books this direction, and so they're different from us in that way here in the States. I haven't read that yet, but that's going to be very much a manga style. which could be a big encouragement to some people. And I did see in a comic shop that they have some collected editions already in the books. If you buy manga, or if you're interested in manga, you've already seen these type of books. But there is a Nightmare Before Christmas book that I did see that had some of the comics in there. So it's already out and available. But I haven't got a chance to read that one yet. I've only got these 4 to talk about. This, though, is showing the Avengers basically reuniting. It really didn't have a whole lot of like major story other than a lot of conversation here between Odin and the Black Panther, as Odin recounts a story that takes place at about 1 million BC with some original Avengers as they got together and they took out a Celestial, and they expect some follow-up. Loki arrives and brings that Celestial back to life and is about to wreak some havoc on Odin. Asgard is completely laid waste. There's something called Asgardia that I don't know a whole lot about. I don't usually pay attention to Thor in the comics. But Asgardia, I think, might be this city. But I don't know. It's in destruction right now, and Odin is there, and he's summoned Black Panther because he thinks Black Panther may be the only hope to help the Avengers reunite and take on this threat that's coming. And we're talking the original 3 Avengers are coming back here. Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man are about to reunite in a brand new Avengers comic, and I have already seen this is available out in stores right here. Looks like we got She-Hulk in there. A lot of different stuff going on with this comic. It's already available for you to pick up in your local comic shop. Go check it out. The Captain America preview is relaunching Steve Rogers more as the Captain America, and shows the America is kind of divided between there's Hydra, pro-Hydra people and regular, which I think is connected to they had the Hydra thing where Captain America was part of Hydra, and they did an event where Hydra had taken over the United States and stuff, and so I guess you have a split thing. I don't know if they're trying to mirror and say anything about any split thing going on in the States right now, but I don't know. It wouldn't be good to call half the people that were maybe people you disagree with Hydra agents. If that's what they're doing, that's probably not a good idea. All right, another thing, and I really enjoyed reading this one here, Amazing Spider-Man. This is a preview for it's officially July. Will be Amazing Spider-Man #1 with new writers, new artists. In fact, the artist apparently was with Adrian Ropp signing some comics today out in Salt Lake City. So hopefully some of you got a chance to go and meet with Adrian Ropp and get something signed, and also meet the artist by the name of Ryan Ottley. So he's the artist. The writer here, now I don't know how long this writer is going to be going along with her, and I don't know which one of these guys is the writer. I think it might be Nick Spencer is the writer coming up for Amazing Spider-Man. One thing I did enjoy looking at is Chris Claremont is coming back to write for X-Men, and oh look, Colossus and Shadowcat are supposed to be getting married. I might actually have to buy those issues. I mean, it's Chris Claremont writing X-Men, and that's usually a good sign that you're going to want to read it if you're a fan at all of X-Men. I have not kept up with X-Men since the 90s, though. I am going to be completely lost, I'm sure. Okay, but this we're showing Peter Parker getting back to some sort of a regular life here. He's going to room in with Randy Robertson, Robbie's son. Also, I think he's not the Prowler. I forget, but he's got a costume identity as well. But Peter Parker is looking for an apartment here. We have some nice villain appearances here by Boomerang, the new Electro, and Rhino. Spidey gets to deal with him. And something else that I have not been paying attention, don't know when this happened, but this kind of surprised me. But the Kingpin is the mayor of New York City. So I guess J. Jonah Jameson is no longer the mayor. But the Kingpin has somehow become the mayor. I don't know how that's supposed to happen, because wouldn't the citizens realize he's got a criminal record? He was in prison last I saw. So I don't know who he smoozed in to get in there to become the mayor of New York. But what? But this is working out somewhat in Spidey's favor, although the Kingpin seems to have wanted whatever item Boomerang had stolen. Kingpin wanted it, so he's got it. And so there's something cooking here, I think. I'm sure we'll see later on this. But the funny thing is Boomerang did get away, and he is a third person to live with Peter Parker and Randy Robertson. So that could be interesting. But here is, of course, the cover art for the upcoming Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man #1. It's listed for July. It should be available in June, if not maybe by the end of May, because they're really early with how they put these out. There's some nice preview stuff on some Ant-Man and Wasp to prepare you for the movie. And then this one actually had a whole little section, I think kind of trying to get you caught up on what's been happening in some of the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. And Ant-Man apparently is now running around with Guardians of the Galaxy, needed to get off Earth. But it was a whole interesting story, and I think they're building up to, they're doing some more stuff with the Infinity Stones. Of course, there's a tie-in, and so there's an entire story about to launch here with the Infinity Stones. And of course, they are advertising that. By the way, the Infinity Gauntlet trade paperback is out there, as along with the Infinity War, which I've got ebooks of those, so I'm attempting to read those. Which I got sidetracked, and I'm going to read this stuff. So I haven't finished reading Infinity War or started with Infinity Crusade at this time. But those are some of the things that I've picked up that really are stepping stones to something that's coming out, or something that is out now that you can go to your local comic shop and pick up. And I advise you to go and check it out. Find some stuff. You're probably going to enjoy some of these Marvel and Disney titles. I personally, if I find more of these Disney princess things, I'm probably going to buy them. And even these Star Wars adventures, they were kind of fun. They're very light, but it's Star Wars and it's IDW, so I don't know if it's considered to be canon, but it was light, it was fun, it was a good time. And of course, definitely, I'm interested in Amazing Spider-Man #1 coming out here this summer, and seeing the original adventures come back, and Thor is Thor again, and not Jane Foster is no longer Thor. Now Thor is Thor again. So we're back to that. So I don't know what Jane Foster is doing in the comics right now. I kind of wonder. But those are some things that I picked up. If you managed to go out Free Comic Book Day and you found something you really liked, let us know in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed. Hit the little bell button for whenever we do these videos. But of course, the main thing is on iTunes, Stitcher, about anywhere you listen to podcasts, search for the Neverland Podcast, because we are primarily an audio podcast. And I have a great episode coming out actually this week of me, Philip, and Seth all out there at the comic shops having fun conversations in line, going out to get these free comics. It's going to be great fun. I've got it already edited together. I'll release it tomorrow. It'll be ready for you this week. Until then, keep a pixie in your pocket.